Welcome to today's Panchatantra, the Brahmin and the thief, wisdom in the face of cunning. In an era when dense forests stretched endlessly across the land and sacred rivers shimmered under the sun, five Brahmins prepared for a journey to a holy pilgrimage site. Clad in simple robes, they carried only the essentials, yet their journey was one of significance, both spiritually and materially. Among the five, one harbored a hidden greed. Quietly, and without the knowledge of the others, he concealed a few precious jewels within the folds of his garments, thinking that a small act of theft from his companions would go unnoticed. As they traversed the winding forest paths, their peaceful journey was abruptly interrupted by a gang of armed thieves. Emerging silently from behind the thick foliage, the thieves demanded that the Brahmins surrender all their possessions. Fear rippled through the group, their hearts pounded as they glanced at each other, silently pleading for a solution. The thief among the Brahmins, aware that discovery of his hidden jewels could lead to disaster, realized he was in a precarious position. He could attempt to deny the theft and risk being executed along with his friends if caught. Alternatively, he could act with cunning, taking personal responsibility to save the others. With a deep, calculated breath, he chose the path of sacrificial wisdom. Stepping forward, he confessed boldly to the gang leader, "I have taken the jewels. I alone am guilty. Punish me and spare the others." The leader, taken aback by the Brahmin's honesty and composure, felt respect for his courage. Recognizing both the intelligence and the strategic foresight in his confession, the thief leader released the man and let the other four Brahmins continue safely on their journey. The clever Brahmin had used his intellect and presence of mind to protect his companions, demonstrating that intelligence can turn even a dangerous adversary into a benevolent force. Moral analysis: intelligence surpasses foolish friendship. The fable carries a powerful moral. A clever adversary is often better than a foolish friend. This principle resonates across human life, relationships, and organizational dynamics. Prudent confession versus blind self interest. The Brahmin's choice to acknowledge his wrongdoing strategically saved his friends. A foolish friend, acting out of ignorance or impulsive motives, may inadvertently create harm even if intentions are good. Understanding consequences. Intelligence lies not only in knowledge but also in anticipating outcomes. The clever Brahmin calculated risk and consequence, ensuring the safety of all involved. Cunning as a protective force. Sometimes an adversary with clarity of thought acts in predictable, logical ways that allow for mitigation and negotiation. In contrast, a well meaning but naive companion may act unpredictably, generating chaos. Courage, coupled with strategy. The act of admitting guilt demonstrates courage, but coupling it with strategy transforms potential disaster into protection for others. Corporate reflections, lessons for leadership and teams. This fable offers significant insights for corporate environments. A. Intelligent competitors versus foolish colleagues. In organizations, strategic competitors may challenge us but often push teams to improve processes, refine strategy, and innovate. Conversely, a well meaning but incompetent colleague may unintentionally derail projects, create miscommunication, and generate avoidable risks. B. Responsibility and delegation. Delegating tasks to capable individuals ensures successful outcomes. Entrusting responsibilities to those without the requisite knowledge or skill can lead to errors, missed deadlines, or project failures, similar to how a foolish Brahmin could have endangered the group. C. Integrity and strategic transparency. The clever Brahmin's admission of guilt parallels the corporate principle of transparency and accountability. A leader or employee who takes responsibility, even at personal cost, can protect the team and organization from larger risks. D. Anticipating risk and planning mitigation. Just as the Brahmin anticipated the thief's response, leaders must foresee potential challenges and plan accordingly. Risk management, identifying threats, evaluating impact, and preparing strategic responses is central to organizational success. E. Trust, caution, and wisdom. While trust is vital in workplaces, blind trust in the wrong individuals can be harmful. Organizations must balance trust with verification, ensuring that team members' actions align with competence and organizational goals. Personal reflections, lessons for daily life. On a personal level, the fable underscores several life lessons. A. Choosing allies wisely. Not everyone who appears friendly or supportive is necessarily beneficial to our goals. Sometimes, even a friendly presence can inadvertently create harm if the person lacks understanding or foresight. B. Calculated courage. The Brahmin demonstrates that courage paired with strategy is more effective than impulsive bravery. Facing challenges, one must evaluate consequences, act thoughtfully, and sometimes accept short term loss to protect long term welfare. C. Ethical intelligence. Even in morally complex situations, ethical reasoning and intelligent choices can safeguard oneself and others. The Brahmin took responsibility but did so strategically, reflecting both ethical integrity and practical wisdom. D. Managing hidden risks. Life often presents thieves or challenges that are unpredictable. By thinking several steps ahead, anticipating reactions, and preparing for contingencies, one can navigate crises successfully. E. Learning from others. Observing how intelligent adversaries operate allows us to adapt, learn, and strengthen our decision making. A well calculated challenge or threat can be an opportunity for growth and strategic thinking, unlike a foolish friend whose actions may create blind spots. Corporate analogies and practical applications. Project risk management. Just as the Brahmin assessed the thieves' likely reactions, project managers must anticipate challenges from competitors, market changes, or internal errors. Strategic planning prevents surprises. Delegation and accountability. Assign tasks to capable, responsible team members. Provide oversight for high risk activities to minimize errors. Ethical leadership. A leader who admits mistakes and takes corrective measures protects team welfare and builds long term trust. Competitor analysis. Understanding competitors' strategies allows companies to respond thoughtfully and convert threats into opportunities, akin to the Brahmin turning a dangerous adversary into an ally. Crisis response. Effective crisis management requires intelligence, courage, and foresight, identifying the critical issues and responding decisively without creating additional harm. Personal life applications. Financial prudence. Borrowing from responsible, intelligent sources rather than relying on naive friends prevents mismanagement and loss. Relationship navigation. Friends or associates with good intentions may inadvertently harm. Choosing associates carefully, assessing capabilities, and acting thoughtfully safeguards personal well being. Problem solving, facing challenges, financial, familial, or professional, requires anticipating consequences, weighing options, and responding strategically. Learning from mistakes. Mistakes, whether our own or others, provide insight for future actions. Recognizing patterns of imprudence enables better decision making. Integrating lessons for leadership and life. The story of the Brahmin and the thief imparts universal lessons applicable across life, leadership, and organizational dynamics. Intelligence over naivety. A clever, strategic adversary can be beneficial, a foolish ally may be destructive. Calculated action. Courage must be paired with foresight and strategy. Acting impulsively, even with good intentions, can create risks. Responsibility and sacrifice. Sometimes personal sacrifice is necessary to protect others, especially when decisions affect a group or community. Trust and verification. Blind trust can be perilous. Always verify competence and reliability, particularly when stakes are high. Learning through observation, understanding adversaries, anticipating behavior, and applying strategic reasoning is key to navigating complex environments. Conclusion. Strategic intelligence in life and work. In the dense forests of life, whether literal or metaphorical, we often encounter threats and challenges. Sometimes these threats come disguised as friends and sometimes as adversaries. The Brahmin story teaches that wisdom, courage, and strategic intelligence can transform potential disaster into safety, while naive trust or incompetence can magnify risk. In modern workplaces, well meaning but inexperienced colleagues may inadvertently sabotage efforts, creating crises that require intervention. Conversely, a strategic competitor or intelligent adversary may present challenges that sharpen skills, improve processes, and lead to long term success. On a personal level, navigating life's risks, financial decisions, relationships, and responsibilities requires discernment, prudence, and calculated action. The Brahmin shows that sometimes admitting a small fault, taking a calculated risk, or strategically sacrificing short term comfort can preserve greater gains and protect others. Thus, whether in corporate boardrooms, personal ventures, or everyday life, the lesson remains. Intelligence and strategic thinking triumph over ignorance and impulsiveness, and a clever adversary is often preferable to a foolish ally. Life's thieves and challenges, when approached with wisdom, can be managed safely and even turned into opportunities for learning and growth. In conclusion, next time you face uncertainty, evaluate your allies, anticipate consequences, and act with foresight. For it is better to confront a smart opponent than to trust an imprudent friend, and wisdom, applied courageously, will always prevail. Yours, Ravishankar Avadhanam.